Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Tomorrow's Weather Today. And last night we did have Tropical Storm Arthur um, get named in the uh, southwestern Atlantic. It is a fully tropical system according to the NHC, and it was not designated a subtropical depression or storm at any time. Um, as of right now, the pressure is down to 1,002 millibars and the wind's 40 miles an hour and is moving north-northeast at 9 miles per hour. Um, so they have issued a tropical storm warning in coastal North Carolina, and dangerous coastal surf and rip currents are expected to spread northward from Florida to the mid-Atlantic states in the next few days. So the U.S. rainfall potential, at most an inch or two for the North Carolina coast. Nothing major, thankfully. Looking at the cone, so you can see that we have the tropical storm force winds on the eastern side, like we talked about how this was going to be an eastern sided weighted system. Um, it's going to basically move north northeast, make a close pass, maybe even come over the Outer Banks and then take a right turn out to sea and become extra tropical by Tuesday afternoon, according to the NHC. So, looking at the visible satellite loop from this morning, we can actually see the center. It is exposed. It is right in here. You can see this little swirl right in here, which is the low-level center. Um, And like we said, all the winds are off to the east side, and you can see that with all the thunderstorms being on the east side. Um, we definitely have some dry air, and it's looking like it will be pulled into the center, and it looks like there is some over the center. As we can see right here, the center is exposed. You don't want to see that if you want to see rapid intensification or um, intensification at all. Um, this is most likely going to go slowly, the intensification, and we can see that at forecast hour 48, which is 2 days out, they're forecasting 60 miles per hour winds, which is the peak for this. Recon plane was in there this morning, um, finding the strongest winds on the eastern side and a pressure down to 102. Um, and maybe even some not strong, but stronger winds um, on the northern side, trying to get going, but not just yet. Southeastern and the northeastern sides are the most intense. Looking at the intensity forecast, um, it's gonna once it reaches this peak around day and a half, 2 days out, it's gonna fall off quickly. Um, as it moves offshore into colder waters. And if we look at the colder waters, we haven't looked at this yet, but if we look at the temperature, we're going to go to Western Atlantic, you can see that anything in yellow is pretty conducive for tropical development. Arthur's sitting somewhere in here, um, maybe getting some influence from the Gulf Stream, which is helping Arthur, but it's going to move up into the mid to low 20s Celsius sea surface temperatures, um, which isn't great for tropical sustainability. It doesn't sustain those thunderstorms that are going along with the tropical system. Looking at the track, we still have a few going, wanting to bring this Arthur in to the United States, but a majority of them bringing it out to sea. Uh, Mostly unaffecting land, maybe just the Outer Banks. So, looking at the GFS, we can see that the GFS brings it over Del Mar, or over the Outer Banks. Doesn't bring it onshore to the New Jersey into New Jersey anymore, but it hangs around, and the energy kind of stays here um, for the East Coast to just get some more rain. Um, so why? What's the difference from it happening? So basically, here's Arthur. There's an upper level trough right here, um, and another one right here. These were farther. This one, they were both in different positions a couple days ago. Um, if we go to the 18Z from Thursday, we can see, was it the 18Z or just the 12Z? That it wanted to have the upper level low over Lake Michigan and this one over the Panhandle of Florida. Um, as we can see for the same forecast hour, that they're farther back. Um, here's the northern one, and it kind of is like that for the southern one. Um, because this was gonna try to pivot it this way, and the difference is now is that Arthur had lighter winds aloft coming out of the southeast, but now Arthur's going to have winds coming out of a little stronger winds coming out of the southwest, um, which should help to shear Arthur off a little bit. Looking at the vorticity at 700 millibars, um, we can see that warm front that we were talking about the past few days is detached, which is why this is tropical. And it's going to stay detached from the actual system. And here's our upper level troughs that we were talking about. So, looking at the 10-meter winds, we can see it really gets going if it does. Um, Past close to North Carolina. Let's zoom it in here. You can see some of those heavier winds are coming on shore, and then it looks like there's some impacts, maybe some coastal flooding for the New Jersey coast, according to this model. The CMC has it basically in the same position, um, just farther off the coast a little bit. Um, let's go over to Pivotal Weather, another great website. Both Tropical Tidbits and Pivotal Weather are both fantastic websites. Looking at the European high res, we can see that it wants to bring it close to the North Carolina coast, but then it goes far offshore, not giving any impacts to the Mid-Atlantic or New Jersey. Um, so, in all, this will probably be my last video on Arthur. I might come out with one tomorrow just to give an impact update on the North Carolina coast, but there should be minimal impacts to the U.S., thankfully, and this should be a busy hurricane season. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment on your thoughts about this video. Have a good one, everyone.